The morning light turned Foster's new home purple. He stood in the main room of Vexthor's old house, feeling lost. Everything was built for taller people with 4 arms. Even the chairs looked wrong. Lara found him trying to make human coffee in a strange alien kitchen. "That's a plant watering device," she said, taking the thing from his hands. "Oh." Foster felt his face get red. "I don't know how anything works here." "Then let us show you," Myron said, coming in with breakfast. The food looked like blue clouds on silver plates. "This is your home now, too." They sat down to eat. Foster watched how they used their eating tools and copied them. The blue food tasted like honey and mint. "We should talk about how this will work," Lara said. Her white hair glowed in the morning light. "You have Earth duties. We have our diplomatic work. And we all have to live together," Myron added. She touched a wall, and it turned clear, showing the city below. "The other diplomats will watch us closely. If we fail, many trade deals might break." Foster put down his food. "No pressure then." "Let's start with simple things," Lara said. She stood up and waved Foster over to a big screen. "This controls the house. Temperature, lights, doors. You'll need to learn it." For the next hour, they taught him how to use the house systems. Everything was based on colors and hand movements. By lunchtime, Foster could open doors without hitting his head. "Now for the hard part," Myron said. She brought out some official-looking papers. "We need to tell Earth about our work schedule. 3 worlds want to meet next week." Foster looked at the papers. Alien writing moved across them like tiny rivers. "I'm supposed to protect you. Do I come to these meetings?" "Yes," Lara said, "but not as a guard. As family. It's very important in our culture. Many races only trust family groups with big decisions." Foster thought about his Earth duties. "I'll need to talk to my bosses. Make sure I can do both jobs." "We already did." Myron smiled. "Captain Chen helped us. You're now Earth's official family group diplomat." "That's not a real job title." "It is now." Lara showed him his new ID card. It had both Earth and alien symbols on it. They spent the afternoon learning about each other. Foster told them about Earth's oceans and cities. They taught him about their homeworlds and how they became diplomats. "One more thing," Myron said as evening came. She led them to a garden that floated outside the house. "We eat dinner together every night. It's tradition." Under the purple sky, they shared their first dinner as a strange new family. The food was still weird, but Foster was getting used to it. Maybe, he thought, this could work. "Tomorrow," Lara said, "we'll teach you proper diplomatic greetings. No more shaking hands with species who think touching is rude." Foster laughed. "That explains some weird looks I got." As night fell, the city below lit up with floating lights. In one day, Foster had learned to live in an alien house, got a new job, and started to understand his new role. It wasn't what he expected when he won the fight, but maybe it was better. 1 week after moving in together, Foster faced his first big test as a family group diplomat. The Crystal World's leader, a tall being made of shifting crystals, arrived at their home. "Remember," Lara whispered, "no handshakes. Bow 3 times. Don't look directly at his center crystal." Foster followed her instructions carefully. The crystal being made soft chiming sounds that the translator turned into words. "I hear Earth has a new family group," the leader said. "How? Unusual. Can it work?" Marin stepped forward gracefully. "Change brings new strength, honored one. Would you share tea with us?" The leader's crystals changed color from blue to green. Tea would be acceptable. They moved to the garden room. Foster had practiced serving alien tea for hours. "Don't spill, don't touch the cup's rim. Pour in a spiral." His hand shook slightly as he served. "Your form is good," the leader said, surprising everyone. "You learn our ways quickly." "I have excellent teachers," Foster replied, glancing at Lara and Myron. The crystal being made a sound like small bells laughing. "Yes, Your wives are well known for their wisdom. But tell me, why should we trust Earth with our crystal trade? Foster almost dropped the teapot. This wasn't supposed to be a trade meeting, but he saw Laura and Myron smile slightly. They had prepared him for this. Honored one, Foster said carefully, Earth doesn't want just trade. We want understanding. That's why I'm here, learning your ways, becoming part of this family. We know we're new to the stars, but we're willing to learn. The leader's crystals sparkled. Pretty words, but what proof do you offer? Mayn't I? Lara asked, and Foster nodded. She brought out a small box. Inside was a crystal from Earth, not the same as their trading crystals, but a beautiful rose quartz. On Earth, Lara explained, crystals are given as symbols of love and commitment. When Foster joined our family, he gave us these. She showed her necklace with the rose quartz. Mayrin touched her matching necklace. Different kinds of crystals can work together to make something new and beautiful, like our family. The crystal leader studied the Earth crystal for a long time. His colors shifted through rainbow patterns. Clever, he finally said, using Earth customs to show respect for ours. Your family group thinks well together. After more tea and talk, the leader stood to leave. We will sign the trade agreement tomorrow. And he turned to Foster. You will show me more Earth crystals. It would be my honor, Foster said, bowing 3 times. After the leader left, all 3 of them fell onto the soft chairs, relieved. That was brilliant, Foster said to Lara and Myron, using the necklaces I gave you. We are a family, Myron said simply. We use what each of us brings. Lara touched her necklace. Besides, we didn't lie. These crystals are beautiful. Foster looked at his new family, smart, kind, and able to turn his simple gift into a diplomatic victory. Maybe the other commanders were wrong. Maybe winning that fight was the best thing that ever happened to him. A month had passed since the Crystal World's trade deal. Foster sat in their garden, watching the floating lights of the city below. Lara was teaching him their language while Marin cooked dinner. No, Lara said gently. The color tone must match the word. Say welcome again, but think of warm sunlight. Foster tried again. This time, his voice carried a golden tone. The plants around them swayed in response. Much better. Lara clapped her 4 hands. Soon you'll be able to speak at the Light Festival. The smell of spices filled the air as Marin brought out dinner. She had been experimenting with mixing Earth and alien foods. Try this, she said, putting a blue-green dish in front of Foster. It's like your spaghetti, but made with crystal grass noodles. Foster took a bite. The noodles sparkled in his mouth and tasted like herbs in home. It's perfect, he said, his voice full of golden tones without even trying. Lara smiled. Your Earth emotions make our language more beautiful. Anger becomes storm purple, happiness becomes sun gold. Speaking of Earth, Myron said, sitting down, the mining colony needs our help. The workers are fighting with the crystal beings. Foster put down his fork. Fighting. Why? Cultural confusion, Lara explained. The humans work during crystal sleep time. It's seen as disrespectful. But Earth's machines need to run all day, Foster said. The power stations back home depend on it. Marin touched the table, bringing up work schedules. We think we found a solution. Show him, Lara. Lara waved her hands, and the schedules change. What if the humans sing Earth songs while working? The vibrations would actually help the crystals grow. Foster stared at them. A month ago, he barely understood alien customs. Now his wives were solving problems by mixing human and alien cultures. That's brilliant, he said. But will the crystal beings accept it? They already have. Myron smiled. We asked them this morning. They love Earth music, especially something called rock and roll. They all laughed at the joke. Foster realized he was understanding their color humor now too. Later that night, they sat in their favorite spot, where the garden met the house. The purple sky was full of stars. "Thank you," Foster said suddenly. "For what?" Lara asked. "For teaching me. For making this work. When I won that fight, I thought my life was over. But it was just beginning." Marin touched his shoulder gently. "You teach us too. Earth ways are different, but good. Together, we make new ways." "Like crystal grass spaghetti," Lara added, making them all laugh again. Above them, ships from Earth and the crystal worlds passed each other peacefully. In their garden, 3 people from different worlds had made something new. A family that helped other worlds understand each other better. "Tomorrow's another busy day," Myron said. "The plant people want to talk about Earth forests." Foster smiled. He was ready for whatever came next. With Lara's wisdom and Myron's creativity, they could solve any problem. His voice carried gold and purple tones as he said goodnight in their language, and the garden sang softly in response. Bad news came during breakfast. Captain Chen's face appeared on their screen, looking worried. "Someone's trying to break your family apart," she said. "The War Council thinks a human-alien family is dangerous. They're voting tomorrow about it." Foster looked at Lara and Myron. After 2 months together, he couldn't imagine life without them. "Who's behind this?" Lara asked, her skin turning darker blue with anger. "Lord Kexthor, Vexthor's brother," Chen said. "He says humans aren't fit to lead alien families." Marin's hands moved quickly over her data screen. "He's lying. He wants our trade contracts. Without our family group status, all deals would go to him." Foster stood up, knocking over his chair. "He can't do this. We've helped both Earth and the alien worlds." "We need proof," Lara said. "Show them what we've done." They worked fast. Marin collected data about their successful trade deals. Lara contacted friendly alien leaders. Foster called Earth's mining colonies. "The crystal worlds support you." Their crystal leader chimed in on a call. "Your Earth songs have made our crystals grow twice as fast." The plant people sent messages too. "The human-alien family understands both worlds. They helped our forests and their cities grow together." But Kexthor had powerful friends. He sent messages saying humans were too violent, too young in space to be trusted. "He's telling everyone about the fight," Foster said, feeling guilty. "When I beat his brother." Lara touched his arm. "Then we'll show them what happened after the fight. How you learned our ways, helped our people." Marin suddenly jumped up. "Look at this." She played a video from the trade office. It showed Kexthor taking money from Earth's enemies. "He's working with the people who don't want Earth in space," she said. "This isn't about family. It's about power." They worked all night, building their case. In the morning, they stood before the War Council. Kexthor smiled at them like he'd already won. Foster spoke first, his voice carrying the color tones Lara had taught him. The council members leaned forward, surprised at hearing human voice colors. Lara showed their trade successes. Mayrin revealed Kexthor's secret deals. The crystal leader and plant people spoke for them. "Look at them," Myron told the council. "We're different species, but we're a real family. We help each other. We make both our worlds better. And we're not the only ones who can do this," Foster added. "We can show others how humans and aliens can work together." The council voted. Minutes felt like hours as they waited. Finally, the head counselor stood up. "The family stays together," she announced. "And more, you will teach other human-alien families how to succeed." Kexthor stormed out. His power was broken. Their family had won. That night, they celebrated in their garden. The city lights seemed brighter than ever. "Our enemies thought our differences made us weak," Lara said. "But they make us strong." Foster looked at his family. Different from anything he'd imagined, but more perfect than he could have dreamed. "They'll never break us apart," he promised. Marin raised her glass. "To the future, and all the new families who will follow our path." 3 months after beating Kexthor in the council, Foster's family had new work. Their home became a school for other human alien families. Remember to breathe golden thoughts, Foster told John, a nervous human married to a crystal being. The color tones come from your feelings. Lara watched proudly as John's voice finally carried the right colors. His crystal wife chimed happily. "You're a good teacher," she told Foster later. "You remember how hard it was at first." Their garden now had chairs and tables from 10 different worlds. Magrin used it to teach cooking classes, showing how to mix foods safely for different species. Earth spices can make crystal grass taste better, she explained to her students, but never use salt on living crystal food. One morning, Captain Chen brought urgent news. A human alien family was fighting on Mars colony. "The human doesn't understand sleep crystal timing," Chen said. "The crystal family is ready to break apart." "We'll go," Foster said immediately. Lara and Myron nodded. They took a fast ship to Mars. The red planet's crystal towers looked sad and dark. The fighting family lived in the biggest tower. "I can't live like this," the human wife shouted. "They sleep for 3 days straight. And she works during sacred sleep time," the crystal husband chimed angrily. Foster looked at Lara and Myron. They had solved this before. "Show them the music solution," Myron suggested. Lara stepped forward. "Let us tell you about Earth songs and crystal growth." They spent 2 days with the family. Foster taught the human wife about crystal sleep patterns. Lara explained color tones. Myron showed them how to cook together. "See," Foster said, playing soft earth music. "The crystals dance to the songs. You can work and help them grow at the same time." The crystal husband's colors changed to happy green. "The vibrations, they're beautiful." The human wife smiled for the first time. "I never knew my music could help." On their way home, they got more calls for help. 3 new human alien families needed teaching. Earth's space stations wanted classes about alien customs. "We're changing things," Myron said proudly. "Making new traditions." "Did you ever think winning a fight would lead to this?" Lara asked Foster. Foster watched the stars pass by. He thought about that day when he was just a commander facing an alien challenge. Now he helped others find what his family had, love and understanding between worlds. "Best fight I ever won," he said, his voice carrying happy golden tones. At home, their garden was full of new students. Humans learning alien ways, aliens learning Earth customs, all of them looking to Foster's family as an example. "Tomorrow we have crystal singing class," Myron said, checking their schedule. "And 2 new families arriving," Lara added. Foster smiled. Their strange, beautiful family was growing bigger every day, building bridges between worlds, one lesson at a time. The emergency alarm woke them at midnight. The crystal mines were in trouble. "All the crystals are dying." Captain Chen's voice was scared. The mining machines stopped working. Earth's power stations have only 3 days of crystals left. Foster, Lara, and Myron rushed to their ship. As they flew to the mines, they saw the crystals turning black. "This is wrong," Lara said, touching the ship's window. "Crystals don't die like this." At the mines, scared humans and crystal beings argued. The crystal leader met them, his colors almost gray with worry. "Something poisons our crystal children," he chimed sadly. "The humans blame us. We blame them. Old trust is breaking." Mayrin scanned the black crystals with her devices. "The poison comes from deep underground." "But how?" Foster remembered something. "Kexthor had mining machines here before we caught him." "Could he have left poison machines underground?" Lara finished. "Yes. One last revenge." They needed to act fast. Earth needed power. The crystal beings needed their children saved. If they failed, the peace between worlds would break. "I'll go down," Foster said. "I'm smaller than crystal beings. I can fit in the tunnels." "No," both wives said together. "Too dangerous." "Then we all go," Foster said. His voice carried brave golden tones. "We're family. We faced danger together. They took a small mining pod down. The tunnels were hot and dark. Broken machines leaked black poison into the crystal beds. There, Myron pointed. A big machine pumped poison into the ground. Lara read the machine's marks. Kexthor's work, but the controls need 4 hands to stop it. Good thing we have 8 hands between us. Foster smiled. They worked together, each doing their part. Foster used Earth tech to find the machine's weak spots. Lara spoke to the dying crystals, keeping them alive. Myron mixed chemicals to fight the poison. The machine fought back. Hot steam burst out. Poison gas filled the air. But they didn't give up. Now, Foster shouted. All together. 6 blue hands and 2 human hands pressed the controls. The machine died with an angry scream. Clear water replaced the poison, washing the crystals clean. Above ground, the crystals slowly turned blue again. The crystal leader's colors became bright with joy. You saved our children, he chimed. 1 year after winning the fight, Foster's family became famous. Their story spread across the stars. Aliens called them the Bridge family because they connected different worlds. The Galaxy Council wants to meet us, Lara announced one morning. They've never invited a mixed family before. Myron looked worried. The council is very old, very traditional. Some members don't like change. Then we'll show them change is good, Foster said, his voice carrying confident gold tones. Their ship arrived at the council station. It was huge, made of crystal and light. Leaders from 100 worlds waited inside. The head counselor, a tall being of pure energy, spoke first. You 3 have changed many things. Not everyone likes change. Change brought us together. 5 years had passed since that first fight. Foster stood in the grand hall of the Harmony Council, watching students graduate. Humans, crystal beings, and many other species sat together, all wearing the rainbow colors of harmony. Remember when we had just 6 students? Myron whispered, her hand in his. Now we have 600, Lara added proudly. The crystal leader chimed the opening speech. Today, these families prove that love knows no species. Foster watched the graduates. Human crystal pairs who made music together. Plant people living with space traders. Even a family with 5 different species. Captain Chen sat in the front row. Smiling, she had helped them from the start. Now she led Earth's new mixed family program. Time for your speech, Myron nudged Foster gently. He walked to the front, his wives beside him. His voice carried all the colors they had taught him. Gold for joy, blue for peace, purple for strength. 5 years ago, I won a fight, he began. I thought I was losing my freedom. Instead, I found my true family. The hall was quiet, everyone listening. They say humans live short lives, he continued. But what we build together will last forever. Every mixed family is a bridge between worlds. Every child you teach carries hope for the future. Lara stepped forward. Today, 50 worlds have mixed families. Trade grows stronger, wars grow fewer. And our school has new teachers, Myron added, from every species, ready to share what they've learned. Their adopted children sat in the front row. Human kids with blue skin markings, crystal children who sang Earth songs, plant children who loved space food. The old ways said different species couldn't be family. Foster said, we proved them wrong. Love doesn't care what planet you're from. After the ceremony, they walked in their favorite garden. It was bigger now, with plants from 100 worlds growing together. Vexthor sent a message. Lara said suddenly, he's coming back from the mountains. Foster stopped walking. After all these years, Myron smiled. He wants to teach at our school. Says he was wrong about humans. They looked at their city. Crystal towers sparkled next to Earth buildings. Streets full of different species living and working together. We did all this because I won a fight, Foster said, shaking his head. No, Lara touched his face. We did this because you opened your heart to something new. And because we work together, Myron added. That night, they watched the stars from their garden, just like they did on their first day. But now, they weren't alone. Their children played nearby, their students visited often, and their example had changed the galaxy. Ready for another 5 years? Foster asked. His wives laughed, their voices mixing with human and alien tones in the perfect harmony they had created together. The purple sky above them was full of ships from many worlds, all coming together, all learning to be one family under the stars.